Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the House of Commons. My name is Pascal Atuma. To my left,
VD Val.
My name is Timi Carter.
Ola George.
Ola George, House of Commons.
House of Commons.
House of Commons, guys.
Comments.
It's about to be a good night. It's always fun when we come together, man. It's always a good time.
Ross, if you have anything against us, drink the thing now.
I need to.
Alright.
Man, this tea is cold.
Yeah.
Mine is cool tonight.
Alright. We've been getting a lot of comments from you guys, and thank you for staying with us, and thank you for watching the show. Today we have a special kind of topic, but this one came from one of the fans, and an article that was sent to us. They sent that article to you, right?
Yes, they sent the
Can
article
you
to me.
tell them what the article is all about before I even mention the topic?
Okay, so the article is about women in Ghana taking pills to bleach their baby so the baby can come out light, taking medication, taking pills so the baby can come out light-skinned. So they wanted us to talk about that topic.
Okay, now, so the topic for today is bleaching among blacks. Bleaching in the black community.
Wow.
So I'm going to put it back there. I'm going to polish it a little. These are women in Ghana, Africa, taking pills to bleach their unborn child.
That's crazy.
It's not that, no, unborn.
That means crazy.
The
That's
baby's
like next
inside.
level crazy.
They have pills in Ghana that they're selling and convincing people that if you take these pills, your child will come out lighter, right?
Yeah.
So that's our topic for today. Why should that be? Why shouldn't we be proud of our color? I'm very proud of my skin.
Oh shit.
Do you understand? I'm actually thinking, look at you guys looking chocolate ebony. You know, I don't know why someone. So I'm gonna start with, let's go straight to Timi. Timmy.
Is it because I'm the darkest person here?
We don't see shades here.
You know, Wakanda forever.
Okay, so
I'll take it though.
okay, so Timmy, I mean, shed some light on this. What is the cause of this? Is it colonial mentality? Is it destruction? What should we call it?
I mean, bleaching is a very weird thing. I think it's very weird. It's that people people want to change the color of their skin. I think it's a mental thing. It has to be a mental thing. In terms with regards to history, a lot of people would trace it back in the colonial days. People that were lighter in complexion, they were favored by the Europeans, they were favored by their slave masters, they were favored by the colonizers. So that definitely created I guess it created a mentality where people believed that the lighter they were, they had more opportunities. And it's still common sadly enough, it's still common in a lot of countries. I know for sure. I'm not familiar. The whole thing about Ghana is something that is new, that is still hitting me. But I know in Jamaica, I'm very familiar with the Jamaican culture because I went to school with a lot of Jamaicans. Bleaching is very common in Jamaica, and it's not just common; it's accepted. Where when people bleach their skin, it's not a weird thing; it's celebrated. One of our favorite dancehall artists did it right in front of our eyes. Vibes could tell. So I think it's a very mental thing. Should it be encouraged? No. Is it risky? Very risky. I personally would not do it. And at the end of the day, it boils down to self-hate. You don't love yourself. You cannot love yourself and at the core of it, you hate the color of your skin. And especially if you have a good understanding of your roots and what the melanin skin itself does for you, medically, history-wise. I think people need to be educated.
Okay, Ola, what's your take on it?
Totally agree with
Oh, so my take on this is it's horrific that somebody, for example, with the scenario that you just brought up there, that people are actually taking pills to change the complexion of their child. The child is already going through so much in the stomach in order to be developed and not wanting the child to come up with any sicknesses and stuff like that. right now like adults who are actually taking the creams and some medications, it's proven that it becomes cancerous. So even when, the same way like how some, specifically like white people, for example, they can't really stay in the sun that long because their skin gets a lot more sensitivity. We have that issue as well, but because of the melanin in our skin, we have more of a coating of protection. So for example, if now adults can get cancer, what's going to happen to the baby, the unformed baby, mentally, physically? That child could just come with a whole bunch of sicknesses and illnesses that parents don't even realize it's because of the pill. In regards to why that they are doing this, I'm so shocked because I heard that in Ghana that the government banned some of these bleaching creams. So I'm shocked to hear that in Ghana that women are doing this, because it's one of the only countries in the world that has banned bleaching. So the fact that they're now doing this, and then I think in general so I'm not really sure what's going on there, but in general, bleaching, it is self-hate. The reason why is meaning that there's something wrong with you. There's nothing wrong with us. We're beautiful. I grew up, blacker the berry, the sweeter the juice. You know what I mean? Accepting your face.
Say that one again.
The blacker the berry, the sweeter the juice. You know, and that was one of the first things that I learned, you know, and loving and appreciating your hair. You know, this week I went, you know, I was taking a little winter break on my hair here, but now my natural curls are back out, you know. So it's just accepting, loving yourself for who you are, and it's horrible that you would think you're anything less than, when the mentality is it's from the colonial days. And because prior to that, if you look at all the Egyptian pyramids and even in Aztec paintings on the wall, it's very dark complexioned people that are drawn proudly, and then they'll show this picture of the people that their servants are a little lighter sometimes, and you can see like the copper color complexions, but it's all the variations of the hues were all loved and appreciated. It's garbage, and I think everybody needs to stop the foolishness and go back to who we truly are, and this is who we are.
Okay, Val,
Yes.
I wanted to speak on this, but I need you to go the medical route with it, because someone taking pills to bleach. How did they? You see? I don't know even. Okay, it's not my turn yet. You go.
Pascal, you just cannot. You can.
To be honest, when you said it, it freaked me out.
No, the article.
It should. That's real hate. It's real hate.
For you to,
Val,
it's different.
I think we can still get it. I sent it.
I think we should put a link where people can go there and read it.
We're gonna put a link. We're gonna put it on. Read this article. Yeah.
It's a different thing if you yourself want to bleach your skin.
Exactly.
That's a whole different situation. When you're bleaching a baby,
I'm born.
you don't even know what the baby's gonna look like.
No, you don't know. You don't know. And you know, as we come in so many hues.
But let's go.
I mean, this thing is really deep, right? This thing is really, really deep. Like, I'm just gonna look at it. I'm gonna handle it in two ways, right? I'm gonna look at the medical ramifications of it, and I'm gonna look at the psychological ramification of it. So like you're saying, you guys touched on it a little bit when you guys were talking about the medical effect. So usually bleaching is just by definition, is like done by black people so that they can get lighter, right? They're taking pills, and one of the ingredients in most of those bleaching cream is called hydroquinone, right? So that's the major thing that does the bleaching for people.
Is it called what?
Hydroquinone,
Okay.
right? So this hydroquinone is a chemical that causes a lot of damage to the skin of people, to black people, right? It actually does the opposite effect. Fine, you see, that's why you see some people, they bleach, they have different skin, different color in their skin. They have knuckles is black, hair is light. Like some parts of their body are lighter, some parts of their body is like darker,
they look reddish.
right? So it's kind of reddish. So they have different colors. Hydroquinone will also cause you to have acne. It could also cause you to have skin breakdown. It delays wound healing, and it's being researched and it's been publicized that bleaching, people that bleach their skin, they delay their wound healing procedures, because the normal human skin, when you're injured, when you have a breakdown in your skin, it undergoes some process where you heal. But when you bleach, you're breaking down that barrier. You're destroying that barrier that helps your skin to heal normally, right? So again, bleaching, it's like you're distorting the enzyme, the melanin. You're distorting the melanin that helps us to give us our natural skin color. That when you go out in the sun, and you go outside, you get protection just from that melanin.
Even aging,
right? Even aging as well. That's melanocytes. So that's why you see most of the Caucasian people, they go outside in the summertime so they can get tan. But it's just crazy for you to imagine you giving your child pills to change their skin color. Fine, we have genetic babies, we have people trying to modify their kids, trying to bring their kid with technology. People can have you can choose the kind of baby you want with technology. You can say you want a boy, you can mix the gene to get a tall, strong, athletic child. But changing the color of your child's skin has a very bad medical effect on your child. It has a very bad, like bleaching causes cancer. You don't know if that child is still forming. You're gonna distort the genetical makeup of that child. That baby or that fetus or that child could come out. You're not giving the baby a chance. Period.
Can I say something that this is happening in Ghana? I bet half the people doing this stuff have no idea of where that medicine is coming from.
So that's just the medical side of it.
Speak on the psychological part.
So on the psychological ramification of bleaching, right? Okay, we understand that bleaching comes from a side, light-skinned people in general, they come from a perspective of being privileged, right? It comes from a place of we from Africa. Right, Africa, Ghana, so Jamaica. If you're black, right, you and your skin tone or your skin color, it's more towards the Caucasian or looks like a Eurasian kind of skin color. You've been privileged, right? So you've been favored over someone who is much darker.
That's the personality of some people. That's some people's beliefs.
What? No. Hold on.
No, I'm asking. That's some people's beliefs. That's what I'm just clarifying.
Yeah.
That's some people's beliefs.
Yeah, exactly. It's true. And even when I was growing up in high school, the light-skinned brothers are being favored more than the dark-skinned brothers. Like these things, kids grow up in Africa, black kids grow up unintentionally. They don't know because these things are being taught to them that the white is better. Anything that looks like a white man or looks like a Caucasian, white is better. Anything black is branded as bad. Anything black, anything dark is branded as bad. And these things have a psychological effect on people. Now, the issue with this is that Western society, right, they come to Africa and they look at Africa and say, whatever knowledge or whatever cognitive message they pass across to us that is aligned towards the white man's mentality is accepted, right? And anything that is below the white man's cognitive perception is rejected. So anything African, they push it aside. Anything Caucasian, they accept. So now people want their children, want their kids, want their life to look like the white man, right? They want their life to look Caucasian. They want to be favored. And they do it because maybe fashion-wise, fashion industry, light-skinned people are favored. In the movie industry, light-skinned people are favored. To get a job, believe it or not, light-skinned people are favored. Like these people have more, they are favored than the darkest skinned people. Even if you look in Jamaica, this is prevalent. It's happening all over. There's a psychological undertone somewhere. It's a big psychological effect.
Let me come up with my own view.
Yeah.
When Val, that article was sent to you, right?
It was sent to me.
And Val posted this article on our WhatsApp group. When I saw it to start, I didn't believe it.
It's unbelievable.
When I saw the article, then I read it, and it said women in Ghana are taking medications while they are pregnant so that they can bleach their unborn.
I don't know why I'm sensitive
child,
about
right?
this topic.
So for me,
It's a hot topic.
for me, I'm gonna look through the camera and say this. For me, I think number one, the major issue here is ignorance.
Of course, people need to be
Absolutely.
educated. People need
Yeah,
to be
the major issue here is ignorance. The second issue here is self-hate.
Self-hate.
Yeah. Then the third issue here is inferiority complex.
Absolutely.
Of course, it has to.
For me, the way I'm looking at it.
Yeah.
And the fourth and most delicate issue here is lack of education.
Big time.
Because if you have gone to school, at least if you've gone to high school, at least to the second grade or high school, in school we call
Probably
class
grade
2,
10, grade
class
10,
3,
grade 10,
right?
11.
The way it's structured in Nigeria, you've done biology, any atom of biology. You understand that taking any medication to alter the genetic composition of your born child is very, very
It's ludicrous.
disastrous.
It's
It's
bad.
very disastrous.
It's
So
bad.
I think I'm gonna speak to all the black sisters out there. It doesn't matter if you're in Jamaica, if you're in Nigeria, if you're in Ghana, if you're in South Africa, wherever you are, if you're in Barbados, stop being ignorant. That's the
Love
highest.
yourself.
This is the highest.
Love
You-
yourself.
Honestly,
Stop.
honestly speaking, this article is the worst article I have ever read.
You are literally endangering your
And
child.
Ola, please make sure that
Trying to make him light
we
skin.
have the link to this
Yeah.
article attached to this topic.
And please comment about it as
Oh,
well.
honestly.
and
So,
give
and
your
also,
experience
and
on it.
also,
Yeah.
and also, there's a research that was done, and the result of this research was actually posted to like the mental health website for black people, cultured black people,
Yes.
and they said that bleaching your skin. Skin bleaching, skin lightening behavior is actually a psychological mental
It has
health
to be.
issue.
Absolutely.
It has
So-
It absolutely
so-
is. I'd like to add something after you
so
finish
they
this
said it's a
point.
psychological mental health issue because it's a cognitive misorientation by black people, right? So they did a study and they said that when you bleach your skin, basically there's a difference between genetic blackness and psychological blackness. So
That's
you're
correct.
black in your skin, but psychologically, mentally, you're not black. Literally, I'm black, but my mind is not black. So everything that has to do with black, I reject it. Everything that has to do with being Eurasian or Eurocentric, right? I accept it, right? So you have it's a psychological mental health disorder, and it's been studied and it's been posted. So people out there, black people in general, black brothers, black sisters, they also have remedies. They have therapy for if you have this kind of condition.
Because it
Right,
is
they
it is
have-
an
No, it's
issue.
a
It is-
sickness.
Yeah, because it's a
It is.
sickness.
It
They have
is.
to. If you feel like you're going through this, you don't like yourself. I'm gonna look in the camera clearly. You don't like yourself. You don't like your skin color. Mentally, you feel like I'm black. I'm supposed to be in a white skin. But listen, go see a psychologist. Go see a black psychologist.
Exactly.
Someone that
you can even see a white psychologist.
I mean,
A white
I feel like you know why I say black psychologist? Because
Somebody
because most of the knowledge that we get about mental health issues, about life in general, are Eurocentric, right?
That is
You
correct.
everything that we learn are Eurocentric. A white person cannot really tell you.
No, but the white
Right.
person
So to me,
that
this
is
is-
obeying the medical
Well, that's fine.
rules and
No, but this
regulations.
is
That's
to be able
specific.
to say the truth.
No, but this
Of
is
course, if
specific.
you're
to be able
going
to
to
say
the
the
letter of the
truth.
law,
Right, but that's not the
but
truth
there's
though.
some-
But this is specific to African culture.
I think I want to add
Right?
to what you're saying.
We are supposed to preserve our culture, preserve our blackness,
Preserve our
our heritage. The white people do it, Asians do it, Jewish people do it.
Every culture,
but every culture do
and
it,
you're supposed to.
and you're supposed to. So
But our own sisters are taking medication to alter it.
to alter it, so it's a psychological
Well, to me,
issue. They need help.
Just
They
to
need
add to what
therapy.
you're saying,
Okay,
I think
okay.
it's going so
Okay.
to deal with the person
Let's
as an
all
adult, you're speaking to the adults right now, right? The people who are presently feeling or having these type of thoughts. The root of this is I'm going to go back to, it's their parents, it's their culture, it's the people within their environment. If from your child, it's imprinted and embedded in you that you're equal to all people. There's no difference, there's no class, there's no colorism, and you impact your children in that way, your child will not, they'll grow up in a world that sometimes does have that lens, but they themselves will see the world through their own lens. The problem is these people, from what I can say, it always goes back to the parents. And the reason I always have to drop it back to the parents, and unfortunately these are parents taking this medication, so God knows what they're going to teach these children. Just like the parents who, their nose is not good enough, they chop it. The women nowadays, the weirdest thing is now, the world all wants to look like us. Everybody wants thicker lips. They go in tanning beds, they tan, they do everything. They're now getting butt injections. There's people doing, if they don't have enough money, cement. There's injections that they're putting into their body to look like more like us. Meaning when I say us, people that look with the melanin that we have, the curvatures that we have, our hair, you name it. There's people getting in trouble now regarding, them claiming that they're black and they're not. But so that's one angle to this. But the weirdest thing to me is the word black did not even exist on Earth until the 1700s. The 1700s is when the word black became in existence. Anybody, when they were referring to people, they would refer to you by the country you came from. They would refer to our complexion as the copper color. They never called, nobody in the world, if you go back, everybody could do their own research prior to 1700s. And the root of this, it came out of the US in the laws, because they wanted to find a way to deal with the classism. So at first, within slavery culture, there was also whites within slavery, like the Irish people and the Scottish, and then there was Indians, native Indians that they put enslaved, and then there was African that they brought over to enslave. So in order to class everybody, for everybody to get, who's getting this and who's doing what, and the ones who were indentured servants, the white ones from Irish and the Scottish, when they finish their 7 years of their labor, then they're going to get land, they get money and things like that. All of a sudden now they start to say, you know what, you're no longer Indian and African and whatever, you're now Negro. That's what they start to say. It's a law that was in South Carolina, Negro. All of a sudden Indians and Africans who came from the continent of Africa were considered that. But there's court findings that people would go to court to say, you know what, we don't want to be classed like the Negroes. Black people like us, people who are coming from Morocco and certain places, they would consider them white. In Trinidad, people in their passport, even if you look like me, up until the 70s, you were considered white. Do you understand? It was a state. It wasn't really your complexion. Everybody can do their research on this. This is a huge topic, because in the past, black did not, the word black did not exist, but the way we live now, including Black Panther and all these different things, everything has to put black in front, anything to do with people that look like us, and it's a fallacy. And the problem is now, we have people, so I'm going to throw this in there, for example, growing up, I was born in Edmonton, Alberta. My father, from before I even started school, I knew about my African history, what my name meant, and we were kings and queens, and I'm parents Trinidadian, but I knew my history. So by the time I received my first racist situation, I was 5 years old. My friend wanted me to come to her house. Her mom said she can come and she can come, but she can't come. I was 5. I wasn't allowed to come because of how I looked. So, but inside of myself, I knew I wasn't the problem. I knew it was the lady that was the problem. So how is that possible? My father must have said something to me. My mother must have said something to me for me to realize that there's nothing. This is exactly a situation that happened in my life that I can share. It's your family. It's your parents. It comes down, the root of all of this is colonialism. And prior to, again, the same time period, 1700s, globally, there was so many things going on where we were conquering and ruling, and there's so many, the Moors going up into Europe and all of these things. I'm not going to get into the history side of this. But what happened is there was a whitewashing of the world, making it seem like, lighter is better, darker is not. And it's an absolute fallacy. And the problem is that we're now 2018 and people are still believing this. People are still believing, people are still taking pills. They had to ban it in the same Ghana. You're not allowed to, and I'll speak for the Caribbean as well. In Trinidad, this really wasn't a topic for us. This was not a topic for me. But Jamaican culture, it's, one of the other channels. It's so normal. And now they call it it's called cake soap. And it's almost cake soap. It's cake soap that they use to bleach. And they call it cooling. They're cooling their complexion. You know, and people are making it cool. Vibes Cartel, they're making it like it's an it thing to do. Whereas people are supposed to be treating it like a psychological problem because it is, like what we did. You know, I'll let you jump
in America.
Yeah.
I know. I don't know. Remember the year, that people, the elite Americans, said we don't want to be called Black Americans. We want to be called African Americans because they didn't want that black
because
attached to it. So if you're speaking to the elite. Like if you speak to elite blacks in America, now you don't say black, it's Black American, it's African American, because they don't want that to be.
It's the origin.
Yeah,
the origins.
Because you see, that's how the white people try for them to still deal with our people who are not psychologically strong.
Correct.
Because for me, I don't know what someone would tell me to take medication. To be one time. That's
you really want to take an Advil.
Yeah.
You really want to take
Yeah, so that's what is shocking to me.
Ola really touched on a lot of this sensitive issues, because when you look at the history of things, right? When you look at the history of the world, right? Blacks, the first person on this earth is melaninated. The origin, it's a melanin. Like life actually starts from Africa. If you look at it, and the first person is, I'm gonna look in the camera and say it's a man or a human being of this skin color that we have here.
And it's proven. There's no questions to that.
And it's so funny that even in the society that we're living at this day and age, people still try to recreate history and make history seem like the origin of history of this is Caucasian. The origin of living being is Caucasian. Like just the Queen Nefertiti. There's a thing that they went back and they recreated her, and her skin color was like pure. Nefertiti is Caucasian. Yeah, it's Caucasian. I don't know if you guys saw it.
Yeah, I saw it. I absolutely saw it. I do my research.
It was on the news, right? This is a black woman from Egypt, and then they made her look like a white person.
Okay, I'm not even gonna cut you off. I'm gonna say this Pascal Atuma, you guys know I'm gonna say what I wanna say. That's one stupid girl from Cameroon too, who says a singer who made a name out of bleaching her stupid ass.
Really?
My language has gone really bad, right?
I didn't even hear it.
I don't remember what her name is. I don't remember her name.
Right.
She's from Cameroon.
Okay.
No, she bleached herself and she was very happy to get her on news everywhere. She made a name.
Was it Dancia or no?
Dancia. My name is Pascal Atuma. I call you stupid publicly, and that's what you are. Because someone like her,
bleach your skin.
Someone like her, right? Don't you think?
There's a SBSLB wrong with her. So I call it SBSLB because it's a skin bleaching, skin lightening behavior, and it's a psychological problem.
Okay, right? So that's what.
That's what is
classification for it.
Right. That's what is wrong with her.
Say it again.
SBSLB. Mental misorientation is a psychological disorder. You see, and if you have that problem, I'm just gonna kind of conclude into
your conclusion.
Into all this stuff.
And use Dancia as an example so that the kids can.
Yeah, so kids out there, parents out there, melaninated folks out there, Wakandan folks out there, listen, love yourself.
That's right.
If you love yourself, you would want to procreate and create things that look just like you. Yeah. If you appreciate yourself, you will want to do things that respect and uplift yourself. So as a black person, you are a god. You are strong, you are vibrant, you are energetic. Love yourself, you're strong. You are the most resilient people on earth. Love yourself. Don't never let nobody make you feel down about your skin color.
It's a lie.
You know,
it's a
fine.
lie.
We live in a society where that's our reality, where we're faced with, because of your skin color, you can't get a job. Because of your skin color, believe it or not, you can't even get a relationship.
If you can't get a job, create your own job.
Well, this is my thing.
Can I say something?
So you're limited.
Hold on, let me finish.
So So you're limited because of your skin color. But hey, that's not your problem. It's their problem.
It's their problem.
It's their problem. It's not your problem.
That's right.
So love yourself. Appreciate yourself. The bottom line is stop taking bleaching cream. Stop bleaching your skin. Stop trying to validate your reality. Stop trying to validate your existence based on the white man's standard. If you do that, you will never grow, you will never achieve equity, you will never achieve equality, you will never achieve what you want to achieve in life. So love yourself, stop bleaching.
Beautiful.
Black is beautiful, black is power, Wakanda forever.
Okay, let's go to Timi. Timi, your conclusion, please.
I'm a black kid. I'm dark skinned. I think I even go lighter because of the winter.
Yeah,
But
in Canada.
When the sun kicks in, the melanin is popping. Believe me.
Yo, melanin popping, bro.
Okay, my mother is dark. My mother is light skinned. My father is dark skinned. I'm from a tribe in Nigeria called the Ijaws. One thing you need to know about the Ijaws, we are all dark skinned. It's a privilege. If you meet a light skinned Ijaw person, give that
I'm
person
from that
a hug.
tribe too, by the way.
Yeah, Ijaw too. We're all dark skinned. My father is dark skinned. My father's father is dark skinned. My father's father's father is dark skinned. That's how we've always been. Why on earth am I gonna wake up one day and go change this dark skin? It's all about you. It's all in your head.
Yeah,
I have never met anybody that has treated me different because I'm dark skinned.
Wow, I've met so many people.
Okay.
I have never met anybody that have treated me rude. People have made comments, but I look at them I consider you ignorant.
Ignorant. Oh, okay, but you know what I'm gonna add to what you're saying? Thank God that you said what you said tonight. It's not my conclusion yet.
No.
No, to be honest, I consider it ignorant. I consider it petty. I don't think it's something that should bother me. I feel like you have a problem.
Yeah.
Yes, that's right.
I don't have a problem with your complexion. I don't have a problem if you're white. I don't have a problem if you're light skinned. I don't have a problem with that. If you have a problem with my complexion,
That's
Your problem.
I think you have a problem.
It's true.
Good.
That is not going to affect how I carry myself. I see a lot of dark skinned people, with the media and all these things going around. They let it get to them. They don't show that you need to let the person know that you have a problem.
Not me. You.
I have never treated anybody because they're light skinned, because they are dark skinned, even because they are albino. It doesn't matter to me. So if you're gonna treat me because I'm dark skinned, I think you have a problem.
True.
And that has always been. That's how I've carried myself as a kid.
Okay.
Believe me, when you're a dark skinned person, sometimes life comes at you different. People will treat you different. People will say hurtful things to you. People will say negative things to you. People will say nice things to you at the end of the day. People walk up to you and be like, yo, your dark skin is beautiful. It's all about you, what you want to take in, what you want to accept, what you want to embrace. People that are, for adults, I cannot really speak for adults. At the end of the day, everybody's an adult, you're going to do what is best for you. But if you let that miseducation, that self-hatred, that miscommunication, misinformation,
Inferiority complex.
that inferiority complex push you to the extent where you're going to make sure that your unborn baby is guaranteed, would I say light skin? Guaranteed light skin?
Yeah.
You have a problem. Until
safe.
you come to terms that you have a problem, life is gonna be really fucked up for you.
Yeah, okay. Thank you very much.
That's all I have to say.
Let's go to your conclusion, please.
So my first thing I'd like to say is this. Who can tell me who I am but myself? There's nobody in this world that could tell me who I am, how I should look, how I should sound,
I think I'm
how
a
I
good
should
looking
act,
guy.
how I should behave. No, I'm just saying there's nobody in this world. There's no people. The key is this. We're looking to the outside for validation when the first place you need to start is inside. Validate yourself. Know who you are. There's nobody in this world that can tell you you're beautiful before you tell yourself you're beautiful. Hopefully you grew up in an environment that was a loving environment that encouraged you to know who you are and love yourself. But besides that, if you didn't, you could start today. Look in the mirror. Love yourself. Embrace yourself. But the key is this. Who said that lighter is better? Who said white is better? There's never a world that I've lived in or will ever live in that can tell me that. I know who I am. I'm no less. And I'm equal with all people in this world. There's nobody better than me. There will never be anybody better than me because I am me by myself. I'm Ola. I'm Ola George. There's nobody else like me. And we're not supposed to be any other person. All the complexities of the different cultures and races in the world is for a reason. So that we can love and appreciate each and every person, no matter their hue, their height, their size, nothing. So for me, the biggest thing is starts at home. For me, I'm always on almost every topic. I'm always going to go back to. It starts at home, and it starts with self-love, not self-hate. Because wanting to bleach yourself and feel like you're less than, it's self-hate. So, and I understand what VDD was saying, and other gentlemen here on this couch is saying that some people are treated different because of their complexion. All the things that I've done in my life, half of the time I'm the only person that looks like me in the room. Do you think that they hired me or not hired me because of how I looked? Do you think people wanted to be around me or not be around me because of how I looked? It's because of who I am, that's how I carry myself. It's my confidence. Of course. So for me, it doesn't really matter what people think, what people see. It's a bunch of crock. And
it does have an effect, though.
So that's
it does have an effect.
I'm going to be honest. So there's never been a day, there's never been a time that I felt less than a person. It's not that there's not a day you show up somewhere and you feel like, oh, am I qualified for this job? Or should I get this? Of course, we all are human. We have different thoughts, but it's not based on my color. It's not based on my sex.
Exactly.
The things that I do in my life, people are like, oh, you're a female and you're doing that? You're doing the production, you have your own business, and how is this possible? I'm like, what do you mean, how is this possible? God has blessed me. It's not me, it's God, the blessings of God. And I know there's much more blessings. It has nothing to do with my complexion. And there's much more, of course you can respond to me, there's much more blessings to come. And I know the reason why I speak the way I speak is because of my parents. My parents were part of the Black Panther movement that was happening here in the US and in Canada. So my parents were they want to drive it home so that when I grew up in the world that I know I'm growing up, I'm living in, and when I have my children, that I could pass this on to them. Do I know people that have a chip on their shoulder because of their complexion? Yes. I know of females that she doesn't love her skin because where she grew up was London, Ontario, and everybody made her feel like she was an ugly duckling. She only liked white guys. She never liked black guys. And it's almost like now she has children. And I know every day she lives and she looks at her own child because her child looks almost similar to her. How do you give something to that child when you yourself are broken inside? We need to fix what needs to be fixed inside. Yes, the world may have shown us colonialism.
She's sick.
She is sick.
SBS.
Yes, the world may have shown us, and I know it's not easy. This topic is a trigger for all of us because we all have had our own experience. My thing is, again, it's the family, it's the home, and no matter what the world says, you say what you need to say to yourself on a daily basis and make your life count, make your life matter, and impact your children and the next generation, so nobody else will be taking pills in the next 10 years. Nobody else will be taking creams in the next 10 years.
All right, Val, you want to respond?
Oh yeah, so I'm just I agree with what you said, Ola, but you have to realize that the reality of majority of people, it's not the same reality that you have.
And I disagree. I beg to disagree.
No, hold on.
I beg to disagree.
Hold on. Systematically, right? Within the system, right? Being black automatically puts you at a disadvantage. You can because you have a separate experience based on your family upbringing, which is good. Your parents did something very good. They put that which others should emulate. But unfortunately, not every black person have that experience, have that family unit, mom and dad in the house. Majority of blacks don't have that experience, especially blacks in North America. And then hold on. But I'm just saying, the problem is not family. The problem is a system. The problem is not us personally. The problem is the system that is in place, that is construed to mess with the mind of being a melaninated human being.
And so push back on that.
And the way to push back on it is to fight the system, not to fight yourself.
Can I say something?
Right? The way to push back is to fight the system, not to fight yourself. A lot of black people they cannot get a job, or because they have one arrest, or because they have one conviction or because they do something bad, or I can go to school and I graduate with my master's degree and you're a white person, I'm smarter than you, but you have your master's degree, we apply for the same job. Trust me, that company is run by a white person. They're gonna pick you over me because you're Caucasian. They're not gonna look. They're not gonna look at They're not gonna look at me and say, okay, I'm smarter, I'm intelligent. They're looking at their interest. You understand? That's a system issues. But what your parents did, personally, I applaud it. That's what every individual black parent should do. Self-love, teach your children. This is the way. I think that's a way to actually fight the system.
Let Timi say something.
Let me say something, and I want to say one more thing.
Hold on. This topic
Timi will
is
say
very
something, and then I'll
broad.
say something to Val said.
This is very broad. If we keep going, we're gonna go 2 hours.
No, it's
on
okay.
this.
Well,
All right,
Okay, I'm
Timi, hold on.
part
Timi, go ahead. What's what you want to say?
Val said something about the system. The system is there in place, but the system, if you hate yourself, you're only how are you helping the system by bleaching your skin? How are you?
No, I didn't say bleach your skin. I'm against it.
How you help like fighting the system? I believe in education. You need to educate yourself. The more you educate yourself, you will just understand that the concept of bleaching is retarded. The concept of bleaching is retarded. It's a mental thing. I am a black guy. I am dark skinned. I can get darker than this. I have not gone to a job interview that I feel like I'm qualified to get. I have never walked into an interview that I feel like I am qualified to get.
And you got the job.
And I don't get it.
You guys have
So you guys have
you guys have a different
Timi,
experience.
hold on. Let's go to Ola.
Timi,
that's a different experience.
I just want to say something to
Uh-huh.
me, just because it was he said what he said in relation to what I said, so I just want to say something back. And I understand, and I recognize that other people have different experiences, but don't get it twisted. I have my own experiences, but I have experience, but I share experiences with other people. So I understand your experience, I understand everybody's individual experience, but what I'm saying is it doesn't make it right. What I'm saying is that there's never going to be a world that I tell my child.
It's never right to bleach your skin. Don't get me wrong.
There's never going to be a world that I tell my child, when you go into that interview, sweetie, you know what? Doesn't matter how smart you are, you're not going to get it because you're the way you look. The world the world I live in, and the world that I will continue to push the agenda. I have an agenda. The agenda that I have for my ancestors, to me, to my children. My agenda is that we're gonna keep pushing this family forward. The biggest thing is, I just want to just say one thing here on this topic.
We're gonna conclude on this.
On this topic is that once we're pushing ahead with this agenda, we don't have to talk about black or you're light and you're this and the other. It's a non-topic. The reason, yes, you come into a world, people don't like you. That's their problem. What you have to know is the energy. This world, everybody believes in this concept. If we think positive, positive things will happen. If you think negative, negative things will happen. So if you continue to think negatively, then maybe the negative reaction is based on what you thought before you went in there. If you didn't believe you're going to get the job before going in there, then
It's not about believing.
I know.
Hold on. I mean, guys,
I just want to say that we're done.
Can we agree that white people really don't even give a damn?
Hold on. Can we conclude on this?
To be honest, this whole light skin and dark skin thing, it's more within the black community.
Tim, that's that. I don't agree to that.
I don't agree.
I can defend you.
Hold on.
We're going to have a different discussion on
Hold
that.
on.
I can I've had more light skin, dark skin talk between black people.
Guys.
We got a part 2 on
That's
that.
how reality
You've had enough time to do your conclusion. Let me conclude. My own conclusion is very simple. I'm
I just
not
feel sorry
gonna
for the
drag it.
kids.
Anybody that feels like you need to bleach your skin or take medication to bleach your unborn child, I think you're medically sick, right? Is that the right English to use? Medically sick? I think you should see a doctor. You should see a psychiatrist, right?
Yeah.
Or you should seek medical attention, medical
help.
Psychological help, because I don't see any reason to bleach my own skin. I love my skin. I've loved it since I was born.
It's popping, brother.
Yeah, you see how it is?
It's popping, brother.
I'm looking at you now. I like your skin tone. I like your skin. I like your skin. I don't see any reason whatsoever anybody should do that. And for some of the people like the Dancia girl. What is
Vibes
that?
Cartel.
Vibes Cartel. What is
I
that?
don't even like when Vibes.
Hold on.
I was done with
What
Vibes
is
when
that
they
sickness that you call
bleached
it?
the skin though.
SBSLB.
I wouldn't even lie.
SBSLB is your
I love
sickness.
Vibes,
You
man.
need to seek medical attention. And if you want to reach me, my name is Pascal Atuma. Instagram, Facebook, Twitter.
Val Instagram.
My name is Timi Carter, and I want to say one more thing. I know.
Alright,
Listen,
go ahead. Say it. Go ahead.
dark
Say it.
skinned people, you have to see the beauty in your dark skin. If you cannot see the beauty in your dark skin, then nobody can give it to you. Like, this is something that you have to look at yourself. You have to see the beauty in yourself. You have to see the exoticness of your skin. You know, it's beautiful, it's exotic. If you can't see it, then you have a problem.
Yeah,
Okay, good.
That's just it.
Hold please, let's go.
Ola
thought that
George again.
concluded.
I got my social media is Instagram, Facebook, also LinkedIn, Ola George _. Please also like us, subscribe, comment on the bottom. Also, you'll notice that we've hit about 12,000 subscribers. So thank you very much for all the wonderful subscribers. Thank you guys so much for being loyal and working with us over the years. And another thing that we're actually implementing is a few other things, and we would love for if anybody could give donations towards the House of Commons. We're looking to take this from here and take it to the next level.
Yeah.
One more thing before you go. Just to validate that article, it's from BBC Africa, and the article was posted at BBC Africa. So you can go online, go to bbc.com, BBC Africa, and then read up on pregnant women in Ghana taking pills to bleach their skin. As a result, Ghanaian government has to place a ban so that ban on bleaching.
Do you have a date on this article?
It'll be in the details.
We'll include the details. This was just
Okay.
this was sent to me from BBC Africa.
All my dark skin,
Alright, guys, have a
Ghana
good one.
girls, I love y'all.
Alright,
I can't wait to be.
Alright.
Love each other.